I'm going to take a look at Darren Till's debut on Misfits against Anthony Taylor, and I'm going to give my expert opinion on his boxing ability. Darren's also mentioned on Twitter about a potential fight with Jake Paul this summer, and Mams Taylor's replied saying let's run this. These are the sort of fights that Misfits needs. Big names, competitive fights. Not what Jake Paul's doing, fighting old men, old has-beens. This is what we need, real competitive fights. And yes, I know I'm guilty, just like everyone else. I tuned in to watch Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. But come on, it's Mike Tyson. I couldn't help myself. But really, it should have never took place. Darren was meant to be fighting Tommy Fury, but he ran scared when during a press conference when they were going back and forth, Darren said if things don't go my way, I'll just kick you in the head. But it was just an off-the-cuff comment, but you know Tommy Fury basically shit himself. Trash talking is part of boxing. It's about building a fight, generating hype. If Tommy Fury can't handle it, he shouldn't really be involved in boxing. I think when it all went off at the press conference, Tommy sized Darren up and thought, wait a second, this guy's the real deal, and he's a little bit crazy, and basically just talked himself out of it. And they're also from similar neck of the woods and probably sparred the same people. And Tommy probably got some info on Darren and realised he was in for a hard fight. Tommy talks the talk, and obviously we know his brother is Tyson Fury. You wouldn't think it looking at him because they look nothing alike, and he definitely hasn't got Tyson's boxing ability. And basically, Tommy's yet to prove himself in the sport of boxing. He goes on like he's a big name and he's a big draw. But before Love Island, nobody knew who Tommy Fury was. And not forgetting, when Tommy fought KSI in the build-up, during a media workout, he was throwing elbows at the pads. But that's okay. It's okay for Tommy to play mind games, try and put the frighteners on, but not for Darren. Let's all be honest, Tommy Fury is a bottle job, a chicken, a run, rabbit, run, 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 run.
Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run.
This one makes me laugh. John Fury has contacted Darren's team, saying the only way he let Tommy fight Darren is if he sends a public apology. John's ego has no limit. The amount of money that he's cost Tommy is absolute madness. It's ridiculous. He made Tommy turn down the fight against Jake Paul on Netflix, and then Darren. Tommy needs to stop listening to John. He's costing him fortunes. It's about time he develops a brain and some common sense and realise when a good opportunity is right in front of him. Anyway, enough about him. Darren Till's debut on Misfits couldn't have gone any better, stopping Anthony Taylor. Last time out, Anthony did look good, stopping Gabriel Silva, son of legend Anderson Silva. Anthony does have more boxing experience than Darren, and he's got a really difficult, awkward style, really messy. In fact, he's all over the place, and he does carry power. This is only Darren's second boxing match, but in the MMA world, he was known for his striking. So let's take a look at the fight. I like the way Darren is keeping his shape and applying the pressure, front foot pressure, not giving Anthony any room to breathe. That's great lead hand control. It's very clever what Darren's doing. He's using lead hand control. And just to explain, it's where you use your lead hand to control and maneuver your opponent to line them up for the power shots. Darren is getting caught with right hands, but he doesn't look phased. A lot of people struggle with Anthony's style because he's so messy and so awkward. But Darren's coping well, dealing with it well, staying composed and keeping his shape. That was a nice check hook there from Darren, Floyd Mayweather style. Anthony's starting to get bullied, and this is why there's weight classes for a reason. He's starting to get bullied, you know, chopping down on Anthony. Lovely distance control. A lot of people who fight Anthony really struggle with his style, the way he smothers you and rushes in with an unorthodox style. But I do like the way Darren is controlling the distance. It's impressive. Here in round 2, Darren does look very relaxed. A nice treble jab there. Using the range lovely. He does get caught with the odd overhand right from Anthony though. Oh, a lovely chopping right hook there from Darren. He's starting to bring the uppercut in now. You can see that Anthony is struggling with the size, the range, and that's why there's weight classes. Yeah, Darren's looking very relaxed and some nice combinations. Darren's even trying to lean in and bait Anthony so he can draw his lead and counter. Clever stuff. And you can see that Darren is just growing in confidence. I can see why Darren was known for his striking in MMA, because he's shown some great variety, great combinations, and excellent balance. Oh, you can see there it had a delayed effect. Anthony threw overhand right, but at the same time, Darren threw a left uppercut. Both shots landed, but as was seen, it was Darren's shot that had the greater effect. They don't call it a knockdown, which is strange. That was definitely a knockdown. Darren straight back on him though, because he knows that he hurt him. I think the referee must be blind. Darren's really using roughhouse tactics, really putting the pressure on, using his forearms, pinning him and then throwing his shots. But this is boxing, it's the hurt business. Yeah, Darren's looking really confident, trying to bait AT in again so he can counter. I'm really impressed with Darren's footwork and distance control, and I like the way he's not allowing AT to grab and hold like he normally does. Oh, a lovely timed left uppercut. That seems to be the money shot. And AT's definitely hurt this time. The referee will have to count it. It's great corner work from Darren's team, great tactics, or maybe Darren's just throwing the shot instinctively because it's the perfect shot against AT because he comes in low, so the uppercut's perfect shot. Throwing the uppercut can be dangerous against a smaller fighter because they come over the top. But at the end of the day, it's boxing, it's risky, it's all about risk-reward, and Darren Till has got the confidence to throw it, and it paid off. I've never seen Anthony hurt in a boxing ring, so Darren's done something nobody else has. Oh, that just missed. Darren tried another check hook. Oh, AT catches Darren there with the overhand right, because Darren's getting too confident and forgetting about defence. Oh, AT catches Darren again. I can see a little bit of nose damage there on Darren. This is what happens sometimes when you're finding it too easy. You switch off and forget about defence and you get caught. Oh, Anthony catches Darren again with the overhand right. I think that last shot gave him confidence. Let's take another look. Oh, he catches Darren square. I think Darren felt that. He seemed to lose his footing just for a second. He kind of turned and squared up and got caught. Because we're past halfway now and you can see that Darren is a little bit tired and lost a little bit of concentration. There's a lot of blood coming from Darren's nose. Probably got a broken nose. Oh, a beautifully timed uppercut there as Anthony fell in. You can see in Anthony's face he's really hurt. He was looking down at his corner. Oh, Darren's closing the show here. Yeah, they've stopped it. Pretty impressive performance, to be fair. It's almost like Darren getting caught woke him up. It woke up the beast. But sometimes some fighters switch off and they need to get clipped to wake them up. It's just the way it is. In some sports you can switch off, like in football, you can pass the ball and have a breather. But in the hurt business boxing, you can't do it. You'll end up getting hurt or even knocked out. That was a good performance from Darren, but I think the main factor was he was too big, or should I say Anthony was too small. And I said it earlier, there's weight divisions for a reason. Credit Anthony Taylor for, as always, showing how tough he is, how game he is, and showing heart. And also for stepping up when Tommy Fury ran scared. I think we'll get a better gauge on Darren Till when he's in there with someone his own size, because like I say, the size difference was just too much. But regardless, Anthony normally gives people problems because of his awkward style. He's a nightmare to fight, and Darren did a much better job than chicken Tommy Fury, the so-called real boxer with the Fury blood running through his veins. The only true part about that statement is the running part. The thing that impressed me the most about Darren was the way he controlled the distance, his judgment of distance. He didn't allow Anthony to fight in the range he wanted. And normally Anthony shoots in and smothers you and makes it messy, but Darren didn't allow it, and he used lead hand control to control Anthony where he wanted him. It was beautiful to watch. He also showed great punch variety and pressure. but patience at the same time. He picked his moments when to let his hands go. I do also know that Darren has always done his boxing at the famous Rotunda Boxing Gym, where the likes of Tony Bellew, the Smith brothers have all boxed out of. You know, they've produced many champions, both amateur and professional. When it comes to Darren's boxing, he's always mixed in good company, and it shows. Even in MMA, his striking was great. I've heard people criticise Darren for his losses in the UFC, but he's only ever lost against the best, the absolute elite, so there's no shame in that. And as always, it's the armchair critics, the people that couldn't lace his boots. So let's not forget, he's competed at the highest level, he's an elite fighter. Regardless of the discipline, he's got world-class fight experience. The fact that he's southpaw left-handed is another massive advantage. If you haven't boxed before, just to explain, in my experience in boxing gyms, 99% of the time, it's mainly right-handed people. So when you fight a left-handed person, it's really difficult because everything is opposite. Completely opposite to what you're used to training for. Right then, to answer the question, what do I think of Darren Till's boxing ability? I'm pretty impressed. I hope he gets to fight Jake Paul or even KSI. I think he's a great addition to Misfits Boxing, so hopefully Mams Taylor can make it happen. He's got an all business and entertaining style, and he brings his fan base from the UFC, so it's great for Misfits. It helps them grow the audience, so what's not to love? Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm working really hard at the minute trying to put out more content, so please support the channel by liking and subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one.